ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of 2025. I don't know why I did that,
Yeah.
but I am your co-host. I'm Andre C. Right over here, joining me as always for this episode of Stardom Review, it's the wonderful, the epic, the goth princess herself. It's Melball. How you doing, Melball?
I am doing great, Andre. I thought I would step into the new year in my new persona, going emo. I'm just kidding. I just like the shirt. Everything else kind of
No.
works out with it.
Oh, I had the perfect theme song for you. Song.
I'm, af-
Take a
I'm afraid to.
picture. I'm coming with you, dear Maria. Count me in. That Dear Maria song. That's the emo anthem.
I have no idea what that is. No.
I'm sending you that song after this.
Okie dokie choky. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Back to work today. It is now January 2nd, 2025, and I'm back to work. It's all's good.
Good. I mean, work is work, but good.
Yeah. So we're not here to talk about my work. We're here to talk about Stardom Dream Queendom from December 29th of last year, 2024. Bad jokes. I know. We're here to talk about the show
So
from
this is the first 3 months of the year where we are still writing 2024.
That is very
And
true.
scribbling it out for 25.
Yes, that is very true. So we're here to talk about that. Before we do that, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us here. You may be watching us on video, or you may be watching us over on our partners A Plus Production in audio form. And if you do want to hear us in audio form, go over to aplusproductions.com, hit that wrestling feed, and get it added to your podcast catcher of choice. And also just be aware we do have the sports and the entertainment feeds for lots more content coming out over there. I want to give a big shout out to them for the best of 2024 coming out yesterday. And as we record this yesterday, the best of 2024 came out, featuring myself and Melball, along with Boris, Matt, Dax Xavier, and Paul Yorkie, all giving our best of. And then we have our worst of show coming out next week on A Plus Productions. So tune in and stick around for that. That's going to be a great show because I have some stuff I'm going to shit on American and Japanese.
It's going to be a lot of torture.
Oh, and don't forget, if you are on the YouTube, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. Please share us out to your friends, family, and kooky little kids that like to dress up like goth kids. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted every time we drop a new video.
Ding dong.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. So, we're going to get into it. I'm going to talk some Dream Queendom. I really enjoyed the show. I finished it actually this morning. I got up at like 5 a.m. to watch like the last two matches before I had to get ready for my day. So I've been up for a while. Yeah, so let's kick it off. We kick it off with the pre-show matches. We kicked it off with Chi and Matoi Hamabe, the newest rookie sensation here in Stardom, taking on Cosmic Angels, Aya Sakura, and Yuna Mizumori. Again, really fun match here. I thought good introduction to Chi here, at least for myself. She will be on the January 3rd card for Stardom, defending her, I think it's Sendai Girl? I can't remember. She's defending her a championship against Aya here. And just really good match. She's showing some really, and her and Aya working together a few times throughout this match. I thought both looking very good here. The end of this match, Hamabe gets a drop kick into a judo toss for 2. Yuna comes back to the drop kick, gets a sliding there for 2. She then does that run up the corner and spins off into a splash, and she gets the win on Hamabe at 10 minutes and 11 seconds.
So the version I watched of Queendom didn't have the pre-show. So
these are on YouTube.
No.
Oh, these are on their YouTube page. Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah. This is what happens. 2/3. Gave me 2/3 the information. I got the main show. I didn't get the pre-show, which
Okay.
is
I'm sorry. I apologize. Again, fun little pre-show match. So from here we go to the other pre-show match. Sorry, one more. Ranna Yamagi versus Sayaka Kurara.
Kurara. This
A
would have
lot
been
of
the
good,
one I wanted to see anyway.
a lot of good transition wrestling, chain wrestling, transitioning early on. Pops up. Kurara's 24. I'm like, okay, she's a little older than I thought she was. I thought she was like probably around like 18, 19 there, but like just from
We also didn't think Momokogo was in her late 30s, yet
yeah,
here
she's
we
older
are.
than she's old. Tomoka's older than me. It's weird. It's trippy. Well, Mina's my age, and Shuri's like a year or two younger than me, I think. So,
I think Konami's 3 years older than me,
oh Jesus, no,
right?
Konami's like 30. Konami's only like 30.
We're gonna debate this later. Let's talk about the stuff at hand.
Oh yeah, yeah. Again, Ranna targeting the arm throughout the match. Kurara work going for the choke in the match here. Um, Great spinning fisherman's neck breaker by Kurara for 2, and then she follows it up with a second rope drop kick for 2. She goes for the spear, but Ranna turns it into a disarmer, then into the straight armbar, but Kurara does get the foot on the ropes. Really cool little key lock slam, and then follows it up with Ranna hitting an impaler DDT for 2. I was really kind of get technical there. The end of this match comes. Kurara gets a rear naked choke to a running Ranna Yamagi, but she's struggling. Ranna gets to the ropes. Kurara goes to the top, hits a drop kick for 2. Ranna comes back with the inside cradle for 2. Ranna gets this huge kick to the head, but as she's going for the cover, the 15-minute time limit elapses, and we get a 15-minute draw. But honestly, great match. Just 15 great minutes of these women just going back and forth.
Which is good, like, because with Kurara, I mean, her progress has been consistent. It's just been a little bit slower than the other people that she's kind of come up with.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll have to see if these are still available on YouTube. Maybe I can check it out. Kurara.
Yeah. And the first match on the main card, which is actually on the YouTube pre-show release, they showed the first match of the main card. It is for the Goddesses of Stardom Championship. It is Hate Supreme, Momo Watanabe and Thekla taking on Stars, Hanan and Saya Iida. Did you see this one though?
Yes.
I want to
Yes.
make sure I'm not going crazy.
Because my first comment is I love hate, and I'm a little disappointed that they came out to Momo's music.
And not the hate music.
They should have come out because later in the show, when we had Tora come out, Tora didn't come out to hate music also. She came out to her theme because she was in a solo match, right?
That makes
And like
sense
the
though.
other hate combos came out to theirs, and we'll talk about Konami's when we get there. But like I would have liked to hear Hate's theme for them, even though I know that they've been predominantly using Momo's. I
Mm.
like Momo's. It's got that creepy kind of like organ-esque creepy factor to it.
Mm-hmm.
And Thekla's is like just so great. But like, I don't know. I was kind of hoping to start it off with Hate's theme, but
Yeah.
I also am just a mark for that theme. Take us into it.
Wing Gori. The aggressors here attacking
Mhm.
during the announcements. It's like, yeah, you got to take it to hate, man. You can't give hate an inch, but they end up on the
For all the
floor.
good it did them, though, they
Oh
took
yeah,
over pretty quickly.
they end up on the floor, and hate just took over, whipping them into the chairs. Thekla getting Hanan back to the ring and just mounts her and just smacking the piss out of her face. Just whap, 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 whap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those, I felt those were almost like haymakers at that point. She was just swinging wildly and hoping that they landed.
Yeah, Hanan does fight back throughout. Momo comes in though, hitting kicks, just fishes ass kicks. Iida does come in, fights off a double team, gets a jumping elbow to Momo for 2. kick and chop trading spot until Iida just with Momo and Iida, but Iida just starts unloading chops. They're trading lariats. Hanan's attacking. It comes in attacking, and they hit the sandwich elbow. And they hit the sandwich elbow to Momo. To again, lots of good stuff throughout. Hanan unloading strikes to Thekla, dropping her, but Thekla comes right back up with one just vicious shot, dropping Hanan, and she's like
Mm-hmm.
booting her in the ropes. Gets in like a crossface style move, but Hanan getting to the ropes. Iida coming in, taking out Hate, taking them to the floor. Hanan hits a high cross off the top. Look really good. They hit the heart attack back in the ring to Thekla. And then Hanan falls to the Northern Light suplex for 2. Hate double teaming at one point. Momo hits a chest kick. Thekla falls up with like that buzzsaw kick to the head for 2. Again, great little spot. I get towards the end here. Iida does get taken out with the dual. Get taken out, and Hate hits a dual buzzsaw kick to Hanan to the head, which is a dual kick to the head. Iida comes back in, stops the double team, pulls Thekla off the top into pulls her off onto her shoulders in the muscle buster position. And it's like a spin out muscle buster, while Hanan takes out Momo with a backdrop driver. Hanan then picks up Thekla, backdrop driver for the win. Yes, win Gori, your new Goddesses of Stardom Tag Team Champions. Yes. I'm happy.
Yeah, I know you are. I wasn't. I kind of
I
like
know.
saw this and I was like, well, this is a shit way to start the show.
Great way to start the show.
The match, well, I mean, the kind of the flavor of the year for Stardom since Mari Gold has kind of left has been the ride was great, the ending sucked. For me, that was the same template here. But yeah, it again, great match. Phenomenal match. There was a distinct, heel kind of aura emulating off of Hate, and they started off Hate, and as they do, they were isolating Hanan, really beating her up. They pretty much ping-ponged her at one point with the kicks, where they was just Thekla kicked her, and when she fell over, Momo kicked her, and she fell back over. It was just really vicious, aggressive match. And then you have little moments of Iida getting in there to try to rescue Hanan, because Hanan spent a good portion of this match getting her shit wrecked. And when Iida was in there, Iida was doing a lot of the ass kicking, and then Hanan finally made her come back at the end there, and it was like so perfect. Um, that weird submission that you said she did, Thekla, I actually recorded that and sent that to a few people because it was much more than just like a crossface thing. I don't even think that the face was even a thing. Her foot was around the neck. So it was almost like she started by setting it up almost like that thing that Naito does. What is the thing that I always forget the move?
Koji Clutch?
Where Naito?
Yeah, where he roll is it the
Where he
crucifix?
locks the arms
Oh,
with
the crucifix hold, like a crucifix hold.
yeah, she like crucifixed the one arm and then got her foot over top of the throat and then was wrapping, like holding on to the foot with her
Yeah.
other hand. Essentially, it was really cool looking. Very, very cool looking. Hanan had a very difficult time trying to scramble to the ropes to break that up. And like, just want to point that out. Thekla is such a freaking talent. And what a year she had going into her Goddess of Stardom kind of run with Momo Watanabe. Um, I mean, I'm not terribly angry. Like, I'm annoyed about it because, Hate's had a shit year considering how good they have been doing as a faction. And I felt this was kind of like a bit of a Kenta moment, if you will. But ultimately, I think that I would personally like to see both Thekla and Momo chasing singles titles in the new year. And I feel that I'd like to see people starting to move away from the multiple championships right now within a company. Outside of a company, completely different, get as many freaking belts as you want. But within companies, I'd like to see people not holding multiple belts. So, yeah, I think given that that's what I want, this is kind of the clear path for them to take.
Mhm. Yeah.
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 You sound so sad.
Yeah, I did.
Well, Melball, sad ball. We have sad ball tonight. We have the sad
Ball.
ball.
Happy New Year. Happy Crisis.
So, the post match promo, Hanan gets the mic. She says, "We won against Thekla. Iida, you've got the belt." They hug. The two of us won this belt together. We've had a lot going on this year, but in the end, we won. Iida gets the mic. Says, Goddesses, when Gori has won it, we have won the tag league. We won the belt like this. We are Stardom's tag team. The symbol of tags. We are Wingori. In 2025, we'll go wild and we'll spread our wings even more and make this goddess's belt shine even more and go even higher ourselves. All right, Wingori will continue to go wild, spread our wings next year. So please, everyone, watch over us, Wingori. And together they go through the let's go. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Just standard little post match speech. Nothing they Ida repeating herself a bunch in there.
I mean, I don't want to say that like sometimes we see that in promos, but like some of the really good promos, especially that we get, we do have people doing that. I'm not mad about it. She's excited.
Yeah,
I didn't feel
just
that
one.
terribly long.
Yeah, she's just one. She has all those feelings in her. Yeah, you can ramble a bit. I do
Yeah,
here.
because isn't this the highest tiered title that either one of them have won? I
Yeah,
think.
both have been future champion. Both have been new blood
Mhm.
champion. I think Ida's
But
been
those are
high
more
speed at one.
considering. Oh,
And
I
I
don't
think
know about that one.
yeah, I
You
don't think
oh,
so.
you might be right about that. That I actually think I remember that right when I first started watching, but I could be wrong about that.
Hmm.
So it would have been
Yeah,
like 3 years ago.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm looking at her right now.
But like
No,
the
no,
new
she
blood
wasn't. No,
title.
she was future champ when you started watching. That's what it was. She
Okay,
was the future
okay.
champ then. Yeah.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
the future champ and the new blood championships are definitely more, I would say that like new person like within the first couple of years of their career kind of titles. I feel like
Mhm.
the Goddess of Stardom titles are that step up from the New Blood Championship. So yeah, it's good for them.
Yeah.
Sad for me.
Sad for you, but happy for the rest of us. We move on. It's a three-way quattro match, as it was listed. It is God's Eyes Hina, Lady C, Saki Kashima, and Tomoka Inaba versus EXV's HANAKO, Mina Shirakawa, Rian, and Waka Tsukiyama versus Hates Azusa Inaba, Fukiken Death, uh, Rina, and Ruaka. Mel's, did you say your favorite gimmick of the year? Fukiken
Yeah.
Death? It's a terrible
Look,
gimmick, but
look at her.
terrible
Look at
gimmick.
her.
Terrible gimmick.
I mean, only to you. I mean, you apparently spoke for the greater whole of the wrestling community in the last match. Rest of us are happy. Well, the
Uh,
rest of us like seeing the gimmick, and honestly, across Stardom and New Japan, the stuff we watch, there's not a whole lot of gimmick wrestlers. They've kind of figured themselves out in making themselves essentially a character, and therefore they don't need a gimmick. Whereas
mhm.
Fukigen Death, she's a freaking clown.
Yeah,
She freaks you the fuck out.
yeah. So yeah, we get in here. Azusa has her carrying the JTO Girls Championship. Tomoaka
Mhm,
Inaba has the JTO Girls Tag Team Championship, and with
mhm.
her tag team partner AOA, and they're actually the first ever champions for that title. So
Huh?
weird little news. Is it just weird little things I found? Lady C used to be a teacher. Yeah, and she's actually 30.
Yeah,
Lady C. Yeah, I didn't realize she was 30, but she used to be a teacher before she got into pro wrestling. I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
I didn't know that. And EXP, they look great with all the titles. Mina with her Rev Pro title, and then HANAKO and Waka with their brand newly won New Blood titles.
Either you just really like slung and Waka together there, or you said Ruaka.
No, HANAKO and Waka. I apologize
Wow.
if I said Waka. She is in this match, so I can understand.
She is in this match, so she is not a champion. No, no.
No,
Um,
everybody brawling in and out early. Just lots of
mhm,
fighting. Just lots of craziness. I'm just gonna give a couple spots I really liked. Inaba, the Inaba
sure.
sisters are in trading kicks. Looked
Mhm,
great. They've been just kicking the crap out of each other. Azusa,
mhm,
the spin kick to the head, and then Northern Lights for two. Saki comes in with a big boot, and Tomoka slams Saki onto Azusa Inaba, which was kind of cool spot. Then
mhm,
the other sisters start fighting. Hina and Rina start battling, giving each other judo tosses. We get the
mhm,
hate quadruple team on Hina. We're walking with the fisherman suplex, and Rina hits the double knees off the top, but the pin gets broken up. The end of the match comes. Mina hits her tornado DDT to Waka and does this off the
mhm.
second rope sling blade.
Yeah.
I like that. I really like that move. Um,
She did that in that one match that we saw her in over here recently. Shit, who was it? Wasn't Danny Luna?
Rame
I don't think it was Mariah either. I think I saw it against Tony.
could be, could be.
Anyway,
Yep.
continue.
But she does get rolled up by Fuki in death for two. Fuki then does the
Mm,
eye pokes to HANAKO, but HANAKO hits the suplex, and Mina picks her up, hits the glamorous driver Mina for the win.
mhm, mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I didn't take a whole lot of notes on this one. I just kind of enjoyed it because it was like it was pretty templated actually. Because
Hmm.
Hate jump started and then they end up on the outside and then it was like, a couple like a Hate person and one of the other team members and then they'd switch all out and Hate would take out everybody else. And it was as I wrote down, Hate just be hating. That's kind of what they do. They let people have their moments, and then when they're done, they're just kind of like, okay, we're clearing the ring now. Just bulldoze, etch a sketch, shake everything up, put it in a different pair. It worked out really, really nicely the way that everything kind of functions in these crazy multi-people matches. Um, you pretty much said all the like the few spots that I actually had written down. So yeah.
Yeah. So we
Hmm.
move on to an 8-person tag match instead of a 12-person tag match. It is Stars, Hazuki, Koguma, Mayu Itani, and Momo Kogo taking on Neo Genesis's Azumi, Mei Sarah, Miwa Masaki, and Suzu Suzuki. This essentially
Hmm.
is a prelude to Wrestle Kingdom, where we have Mayu Itani versus Azumi, which is
Hmm.
kind of the setup for here. I got a
Hmm.
little info. All four members of Neo Genesis here are all 22 years old. They're all exactly the same age. And Starlight Kid is only a year older than them. It's at 23. Like,
Oh.
yeah,
That's an odd little
but they all
that's
have
an
vastly
odd
different careers.
coincidence. 22,
Yeah,
20
it's weird.
frickin' 2, Andre.
Yeah, it's on that day. All of them were 22 years old. Oh, you hate the number 22. That's right.
Yeah, that's why I keep saying, "What the frick?"
But Starlight
Why?
Kid's
I don't hate
23.
it. It's stalking me. Ugh.
Uh, So we get the great little spot off the top, Azumi and Mayu kind of going high speed, doing and then
Mhm,
they end with the flip kip ups.
mhm,
Kaguma and Miyu in doing the bear dance. They high five and shake, but Miyu attacks on the handshake. Stars
mhm,
quadruple team Koguma hit the quadruple sorry, they quadruple team Miyu and they hit the
mm,
quad drop kick. And Koguma gets two. Hazuki tossing Miyu by the hair into the ropes. Neo Genesis attack, but Stars all attack, and then they all get them in the ropes. And Stars does the quadruple face wash, and then quadruple running boots. Hazuki repeatedly slamming Miyu, gets a two. Then into the camel clutch choke, and Koguma hits a drop kick to Miyu's face. I'm like, that was very rude. It was mean, very mean to her face.
What you gonna do?
I'm going to jump to the end here. Azumi hits a suplex on Momo for 2 into a double armbar, gets broken up. Genesis stops quadruple team. They quadruple team Momo and hit forward kick. They all like running kicks into the corner to Momo in the corner. Azumi hits a coup de grace off the top onto Momo, but the pin is broken up by Mayu. Azumi hits a Canadian destroyer to Mayu. Momo attacks Azumi, but she fights back with a head kick. They trade a bunch of pins. Azumi gets a Zumi Sushi, and she scores the win. And then she gets a whole IWGP Women's title and sits up on the top rope, just going like, da, 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 da. It's going to be mine in a few days. Like
I mean, I love Mayu and everything she's done for this company, but she has been that champion a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm being honest, the matches are very good, but they're not as good as I find the NJPW Strong Women's Championship matches to be. And I feel that that's not Mayu's fault, but I feel like maybe a changing of the guard to kind of start spicing up the matches a little bit more would be beneficial to both the championship and the company.
Mm-hmm. I can agree with that.
Yeah. I only had the 3 notes, which was Azumi and Iwatani having their fun little bit at the beginning. I also really like Azumi's look. As she's growing up, she's maturing right in front of us. Her outfit and her new look is just very, very mature. She looks like she's really come into herself now, and she's standing more confidently, which makes me very pleased and hopeful for winning that IWGP Women's Championship. The other note I had was the Mio Kaguma spot. And the other note I had was my favorite face wash. Man, how nasty is Hazuki with those face washes, though?
So vicious. So
Like,
vicious.
everyone else is pretty mean too, because how do you do that nicely? But, like, Hazuki, like, I feel goes out of her way to just be that little bit more mean about it, and I like it.
I feel like she needs to take a page out of the TJP book and start using the laces in the face wash when
Her shoes don't have laces.
oh, don't they?
No, she has those little toe boots, and they're just slippy. They're slippy ones, remember?
Oh, okay. I didn't realize. So I thought I assume all those boots have laces. So okay, interesting.
This is why you have a Melball. She looks at the fashion stuff.
Melball's a genius. She's a genius.
No, she's just observant.
So we get to a match that I now have to reassess. Do I change up my match of the year? And there's two contenders on this show for match that were so freaking good of my Stardom match of the year.
I know it wasn't match 5. That's for sure.
This was one of them. And holy crap. Mika Wada versus Sayori Yano. Or I heard it pronounced as Mika Iwata, but it's weird to say Mika to an Mika name.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't even recall. I wasn't really listening to the commentary at this point. I was just enamored by this match.
No, I heard it somewhere else on a different podcast. They were talking about her a long time ago, and they said Mika Iwata, but I'm just gonna go Mika Iwata. Holy crap! This started out vicious. They're Anu's pulling at her hair, slaps Mika, and they hits kicks. They're trading kicks. Mika, I'm gonna say Mika here. It's gonna be easier. Mika hits like thrust kick to the face, dropping Anu, like stunning her. It was crazy, just kicking her while she was down, Snapmare and PK. This match was two people legitimately beating the ever living piss out of each other without blood. A little bit in, Mike hits another thrust kick, but Anu comes back with a German. She hits another, floats over into a straightjacket choke. But Micah fights, and Anu eventually lets go. There's strikes and a harsh German, and sort of Micah rolls to the apron. She ends up getting they end up on the. She hits like a boot to Micah on the apron, and she hits a fisherman suplex from the apron to the floor. Um,
Mm-hmm.
just crazy stuff. They're back in at one point, and they're both kneeling, and they're start to trade strikes. And Anu just grabs Micah's face and just starts throwing headbutts, but to the point. If you watch, she's doing the headbutts where she's hitting like this part of her hand. So I don't hate them like I hate watching Hanare or Mikey Nichols throw headbutts.
Well, that was the comparison I made. I liked him about as much.
Yeah, but at least they're protected because they're hitting their hand at least.
It's not the contact that bothers me, man. It's the entire action,
Oh yeah.
start
But
to
it's
finish.
just a vicious amount of headbutts from Anu. Then Micah roars up, grabs her, and just starts throwing her own headbutts back. I'm like, Jesus Christ. More just striking and beating the piss out of each other. Micah escapes out of a tiger suplex, hits a spin kick, but Anu comes right back, hitting a Japanese cyclone suplex, then hits her short arm pull in headhunter thing that she does, like for two. Anu stomping the hell out of Mika, but Mika comes up and just smokes her with a straight right, dropping her. And then the ref literally warns her about the closed fist. I'm like, this is what you're gonna start warning people about for? What the hell, man? Starts kicking her more in the head. She gets a 2 count. Mika runs up the corner, coming off this flying kick for 2. She gets Anu up top, or gets her up and hits like best I can describe this was ape shit.
Mm.
It's what it was, right? She hit Tangaloa's ape shit. She goes for another, but Anu bridges out, backslides her, flips over into the backside bridge for 2. She then goes into a bunch of roll ups, but then ends up in that backslide, bridges over 1, 2, 3. See, Orianu wins in, I think it was like
Mhm.
15 minutes and 30 seconds, but really good match, man. These two,
Mhm.
holy shit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's definitely history between these two. That's the only way that this was as intense and emotional as it was. Just real quick before I start talking about the matches, Sariana coming in with a new hair color, kind of
Mhm.
that like berry, kind of like a burgundy with a little bit of purple in it. Wasn't
Yeah.
quite vibrant, but it was like a distinct color, which was like really, really cool considering she was wearing this white and silver gear. So it really actually offset really, really nicely and gave her a little bit of color, like natural
Hmm.
color in her skin tone, which was perfect because Wada was very, very tan in comparison, a lot darker. So, yeah, I have a few notes. Okay, the kicks from Iwata were just the kicks from both of these girls were crazy, but at the beginning, the kicks were super stiff, super crazy. There was that
Super
solid suplex
crazy.
that
Nice.
yeah, that was a yes, intentional pun. Very intentional. Anyway, the suplex on the outside from Anu was very good. Very, very solid. I was brought back to an RCW show and I was like, see, this is why you should have mats on the outside if you're going to do something like that. At least protect the person's back. Anyway,
Yep.
then the
Yep.
headbutts, yeah, I didn't like them. They were some Hanari Nichols. Yikes for me. I kind of was just like, I'd rather not watch this.
Yeah.
There was no blood though, so that was okay. But the fact that like both these women were selling incredibly crazily well, especially after that specific sequence. It kind of added to the emotion for me. Which again, I'm not a fan of that headbutt. I'm not a fan of like gory shit. So later is going to be fun to talk about.
Oh.
Uh, yeah. There is the suplex from the second rope by Anu, where she rolled through without letting go, and then fed her into a fisherman hook suplex. It just the creativity and uniqueness of both of these women is just so cool and made this match just a nail biter to keep watching. You weren't sure what they were going to do next. There was one point where, remember, Iwata hit Anu and Anu just sack of potatoed with that closed fist?
Mm-hmm.
And frickin' Iwata was just standing there with her fist just triumphantly out. I noted how hilariously passionate the ref was giving Iwata shit in that moment. Do you remember? He's the one you're not too fond of, essentially the red shoes of Stardom. He was just standing there with his fist out, just yelling whatever it was at her, and he's kind of bouncing around her a little bit, just yelling, yelling, yelling. The crowd's laughing. At this point, I was like, I wish I understood what was happening right now. It looks like it would just be so much more enjoyable. But yeah, the crowd very passionate about their refs. Like, I don't know if you noticed every time that, like, at the end of the announcements, every time there was a match and they announced who the referee was, like, there was one, the shorter one, who, like, the crowd especially was like, I think his name is Taichi? Something
I thought
Taichi?
I thought Taichi was in New Japan.
I know, just the singular Taichi, but I think this referee's, like, last name or something is Taichi, and the crowd chants it back. I don't know. They're excited to see him. It makes me happy.
Mhm.
There's some refs that we're very excited to see, and some we're not.
Yep.
We're gonna use smalls. Anyway,
Whoa,
yeah,
whoa, whoa! What's
you
with all the small hate?
what do you mean what's with all the small hate? You're just happy we're not hating on Stu.
Stu, I love it. I've turned a corner. I'm a Stu fan now. So
Yeah, Stu's alright. Stu's alright. Anyway, last thing. Yeah,
oh,
that bridging thing with the feet pin that Anu does. So good.
hmm
So good. I remember when I first saw it, I was kind of like, that's kind of unbelievable. But she's made me believe in it with the matches that she's won with it, if that
yeah,
makes
and the
sense.
fact that I saw her backslide into it tonight, and then I saw her doing the
Yeah.
roll arounds and then into it. So she has multiple ways to get into it. So I do
Mhm.
appreciate I appreciate it more because it's not just only one way to get into this. There's multiple ways to get into it.
Yeah, yeah, and it really shows her professionalism as a wrestler, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we move on to what was a very highly anticipated match for both myself and Melball in a submission or knockout match. It is Shuri versus Konami. I love Konami's entrance gear here with the black feathers. It looks so good.
Yeah.
Um,
You want to know what the one thing that didn't match with the entire persona in her entrance was, though?
the
Her
music.
fucking music. Like, what the frick? You got this woman, look at her, even just from the picture with the contacts and everything. She looks evil and she just radiates this evil aura and persona now. She comes out, she's got her black spray and everything. She's backed by all these people that say hate across their t-shirts. And she's coming into this music that's just like, and it's like, Suri's music sounded more healy than Konami's music.
hmm Yeah.
You know? It bothered me, but they both looked freaking fantastic.
Oh
Suri's
yeah.
gear was my favorite. The silver with the green and purple and red accents on it, just so good.
hmm
Anyway, take us into it.
So I'm gonna go through this entire match because this is an important match we really get into. Suri hits a flying
Yeah.
knee out of nowhere. She then hits a head
Mhm.
kick, then another head kick. Konami's down. The rest starts to
Mhm.
count. As it gets to 9, Hate storm the ring, attacking Suri. God's Eye is in, and everybody's brawling. And the disqualification is called at 33 seconds for Suri.
Boo.
Now, okay, let me talk
Mm.
to a couple of the post match things that I saw. Momo pulling
Yes.
Suri out and starts beating her with a bat. Then Azusa's in the ring with some random woman who I don't know who she is. She misses the boot. Mystery Woman hits a head kick to Azusa, sending her to the floor. So let's talk this first before we get into other stuff.
Okay.
I was sadly disappointed. I was really looking forward to watching these two kick the shit out of each other for 15 minutes.
Yeah, I was too. This was like one of the matches I was like, oh, this is gonna be so fracking good.
Mm-hmm.
And then she freaking like you could tell there was a very distinct attitude happening in the ring. You saw Shuri. She was freaking built like an assassin, ready to go, shredded as all hell. She's lean, she's mad. She's going after her former friend and betrayer. And you saw Konami just cold as a cucumber, just ready to fight in that fight mode. And then just boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, no freaking way. But then when Hate hit the ring, I was like, God damn it. I knew it wasn't going to go far. So I knew there was going to be setups. I was confused about what setups were happening when they were happening. But yeah, I am sharing your sentiment. I am very disappointed with this because I really wanted to see these two go at it again. I think I mentioned on other shows before, they did have their pop off after Konami had initially betrayed God's Eye. But I feel like enough time and enough shenanigans from Hate towards God's Eye and pretty much everybody else within Stardom had happened that I wouldn't be objective to seeing it run back.
Well, I think because that happened like 3-ish months ago. They faced off 3-4 months ago, and
Yeah,
then
it's true.
Suri's been building her way back to it. It's not like she just went, I want another match. She's been fighting
Mm-hmm.
and taking out members of Hate and fighting with members of Hate over and over again, saying, I want this match, give me this match, I want this match, I'm going to keep beating on people until I get this match. And eventually she
Mm-hmm.
earned it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it was kind of like a whoop.
So, something from Stardom's website, wwr-stardom.com.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
And this came out on the 31st. It says announcement of Konami's absence. Thank you very much for your continued warm support for the Stardom athletes. Konami will be absent from the next tournament due to an injury sustained during the match at the Ryogoku Hall on December 29th. We will announce the date of her return as soon as it is known. We kindly appreciate your understanding and cooperation.
Well, shit.
I have a feeling, and I got a feeling. She might have been hurt going into this. Is a
I'm going to
possibility.
assume so, yeah.
And you see that flying knee and the kicks looking so vicious as a way to sell whatever Konami's dealing with. And that's why it was so short. Or something happened when she got hit with that knee or one of those kicks and it just knocked her loopy and shit got changed. Like,
I mean, that's that second kick, the buzzsaw kick where she dropped because she was already on her knees, so Shuri didn't have to go very far for the power. It slapped pretty good. And the angle that the camera was at, I couldn't tell if the noise was because of contact or because of a thigh slap. I couldn't tell. So it could be. It's kind of speculatory right now, both potentials. Just based on how little Konami seemed involved, both kind of like going into it, during it, and then afterwards, disappearing pretty quickly. Going to kind of lean more towards the she was injured going into it. They kind of did what they did and changed everything up to kind of remove her from getting any more injured, if that
yeah.
makes sense.
And you can say that she has some kind of injury from the Suri knee and kicks.
Yeah,
And it works. It
100%.
works. Because you can believe it. I can believe
Absolutely.
it. I can easily believe it.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
so after the brawl had ensued, this mystery woman gets the mic. She says, well, it's nice to meet you, Stardom fans. My name was Fukuda, or Maya Fukuda, now known as Kiyoka Kotatsu.
Okay.
I came to Stardom in search of the strength that only Stardom has. I've always admired Suri since I entered the world of professional wrestling, and I have admired her strength. I would like to learn from the strength of Suri and become stronger. Please let me fight together as God's Eyes. So Suri comes back in, and she just shakes hands with Katatsu, and she gets back and starts yelling, Konami, this isn't enough. It's frustrating. Konami, is this the kind of fight you want? I want to fight you more and more. We will definitely do it one more time in 2025. Be prepared. And then there was some backstage stuff about her and Kotatsu talking
Mhm.
about working together. So yeah, just didn't want to
Yeah.
go through it
See,
all.
that's fair. That's fair. The awkwardness in which we went into that bit with her also kind of makes me feel like maybe this was something just kind of lastly thrown together, and they just didn't have enough time to kind of Felicity plan it.
Yeah.
That's a new one for me. Felicity plan.
The Placidity Planet. Placidity Planet.
I'm not stuttering.
Placidity Planet. Placidity Planet. I don't know. All right. Let's go into the next match because it wasn't the worst version of this kind of
No,
match I've ever seen in my life. I've seen
no,
far worse,
yeah.
but it's not what I wanted to see, but it's what I
Mm,
expected to see. Um,
for the most
Micah
part.
Micah versus Natsuko Tora in a no disqualification match.
Mhm.
Micah coming out with a big sheet, like 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 a sheet of
I
plywood or
thought it was a
something,
table or something.
plywood, but it has a bunch of jagged metal cans attached to it.
Yeah. All the beer that they'd been drinking from their wins in the goddess tournament, HANAKO and her.
Yeah, and it's all cut. The cans are cut and they're stuck to the table.
Yeah.
Most of them stayed on.
Yeah.
Um, So they're just smashing into each other, beating the heck out of each other. Uh, this is where Tor gets the barbed wire wrap pipe and hits Micah with it. This doesn't go to the floor. Mel, do I tell us what happened on the floor?
Uh, this is the one thing I hate about these kinds of matches, and specifically, sadly, usually coming out of Japan. They use a lot of blading, and you could see Tora was holding the pipe against Micah's head and kind of shimmying it, but with her other hand, you could see her doing this movement on Micah's head, and Micah was immediately matching her pants for the rest of the match. I
Yeah.
understand again how like people love blood. Yeah, y'all some psychopathic mofos, but people love the blood. But there's more natural ways to get the blood. The blood doesn't have to come from like a intentional gash that's going to majorly scar up this girl's beautiful face.
Mhm.
It can, she can actually grind some of that barbed wire on something else or somewhere else. Like it just, I don't know. I don't like the intentional blading. And it wasn't
Neither.
needed because this match was freaking amazing. And they had other things that made other people bleed. It
So
wasn't
yes.
necessary. Yeah.
So for some reason I
Yeah.
wrote Tora cutting the forehead of Micah with the barbed wire on the glute. GLOOT. I don't know why I wrote glute. I meant the pipe, but it wrote glute
I
for
think you
some reason.
probably meant floor.
Oh, floor. F instead of G and T instead of R. That makes
This is what
sense.
it's like getting messages from younger men. Is literally going through a code of trying to decrypt what it is that they sent you. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so lots of fighting. Tora gets this stabby thing and starts stabbing Micah in the forehead. And this is where she
Fork?
could have busted her open. Was it a fork?
It's a
I didn't know.
fork.
Okay, it's a fork.
I was like, fork you guys.
A table comes in, Micah's put on it. Tora goes up, and Micah pops off, hitting Tora with the giant fan that she's brought back in this match. I was
I
like,
called it the
yeah,
bonking.
Yeah, the bonking. Yeah, she gets rid of the Taylor. Again, more fighting. She's repeatedly hitting. So she gets these steel chairs, and then
Yeah,
bang straight over the head and onto
yeah.
the neck. Like she hit it right on the forehead and on the neck. Does it
This
again.
she hit her hard enough that the seat of the chair got yeeted out by
Hmm.
Tora's head.
And then she does it like 3 more times, and Tora has like
Yep.
4 chairs hanging around her neck, and then she hits her with the giant fan,
The
knocking
bonk.
Tora out of the ring or the bonk, whatever you want to call it. Again, and then this
That's
is
what
where
I wrote.
Micah gets the tool and starts stabbing Tora's forehead
The
outside of
fork.
the ring. Then she stabs Tora more in the ring, and she's bleeding, more fighting.
Can we just say also, did you notice how adorable it was when Micah got the stabby stabby thing? The first couple of stabs on Tora, it was very obvious Micah pulled to me.
Mhm.
She was just kind of, she would wind up and then eat, eat, eat. I'm like, woman, do you not know what she just did to your frickin' face?
Yeah, stabbed her.
Stab this woman in the face.
Yeah. So Mike and Mina are setting up chairs in the ring. They put the sheet that has all the cans on it
Okay.
across the chairs, and Micah puts Tor up top, superplexes Tor off onto the sheet with the jagged cans. I'm like, oh my god, why? Um, Micah then hits a Michinoku driver, but Tora kicks out at 2.91246. All the math. Tora comes back with a miss and a lariat for 2. She pulls the table in. Hate sets it up. Tora goes to the top, splashes Micah through the table, but again, Micah kicks out. Tora hits a DVD, but again, another kick out. Micah fights back. Straight right. Michinoku driver for 2. She makes a pile of every bit of plunder that has come into this match. Like just everything's in a pile.
I called
Um,
it the trash pile.
yeah, the pile of plunder. And then she brings in a ladder. She pulls Tora
Yeah.
up the ladder, tries to suplex her off, but Tora gets handed the case with Raka, bonks Micah on the head, goes down the ladder, comes around, and then takes her Micah from up on the ladder, powerbombs her onto the trash pile. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, and then she gets a 2 count of that, hits a Death Alley driver onto the pile, but only gets
Mhm.
2. So then she unwraps barbed wire from her pipe. Puts
No, no, she had the hula hoop.
it's
She
the
brought
okay,
in the hula hoop.
okay, yeah, and it had barbed wire on it, and so she
No,
puts it
it
over
it
her.
was literally a hula hoop, like just a
Oh, yeah.
hoop of barbed
But
wire that she wore
puts it
in.
on. She puts it over herself, so it's like going like a sash. She's wearing it like a
Yeah,
sash
yeah.
now. Goes to the
Mhm.
top, swanton bomb onto Micah, and she gets the win. Jesus Christ, this
Yeah.
match was insanity.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was exhausting. This was the last match I watched before going to bed, and I
mhm.
was like, I'm tired. What the
Yep.
frick? This exhausted the hell out of me. Um, okay, where do we start? So yeah, okay, my first note is Tora. The face on the back of her head. Second head, the second.
Oh, in her hair, the dye job in her
Yeah.
hair. Yeah, that was cool.
So cool. And then
Mm.
she turned around and she still like looked as stunning as this picture. Her eyeliner, perfectly done. She got those little fake piercings still, which lasted the whole match. I don't know what glue she's using that like when you're being stabbed in the face with a fork that these piercings don't come off, but like my goodness, it's impressive. Um so yeah, this was where I noticed that Tora had come in with the little hula hoop of barbed wire. It was adorable because she was wearing that hate shirt, and I don't think she realized that the barbed wire would get stuck to the shirt. So it was kind of adorable watching her start to get it off a little bit because she didn't want to roll over it getting into the ring at the beginning of the match.
Mm.
Um, Micah's outfit in this one kind of made me like go, "Aw," because the white pants weren't those the white pants that she used to wear when she wrestled with Himika? When they would do My Himi?
They
I think
might
there
have
was a
been.
variation of
I don't remember, but sure.
it was a long time ago in a galaxy far away, wasn't it? Um, There was one point, yeah, where Momo Watanabe slid in the chain to Tora right at the beginning there before the pipe spot, and Tora was able to just sucker punch Micah there with the chain wrapped around her fist. A really smart way to, and then runs Micah into the table also of the cans. I called it the table of cut cans. Ugh, so yucky. We don't need to talk about that again. It was probably not the best idea to start yeeting Micah into every ass corner of the venue after you cut open her face. Because like by that point, it was gushing, and she was tossing Micah like 6, 7, 8 rows back into multiple sections. I'm like, man, I mean, what a fun little souvenir to get, but I don't know if like getting bloodstains on me is the way I want to go home after a show, you know?
Nope.
Just there's crowd involvement and then there's a line. That was a line for me. Anyway, yeah, so much blood, did not like, made me uncomfortable. The forking was kind of yucky. Um, I really appreciated that like a lot of this match, the first part of it was just like Micah getting beat down, and then she had to make this like glorious comeback that she played so well. But there was like you could tell that the blood loss was bothering her a little bit when that did come. She was kind of stumbling around a little bit while she was like trying to make her comeback. So it looked a little feral, which I think actually played into the match very well because she came back, she started flipping the table, she started eating things around, she was like scrambling to get up and hit Tora. So it looked really cool. Um again, the bonking was just funny. Every time she bonked her with the fan, I just bonk, just so cute. Um Again, Tora or sorry, Micah pulling the first couple of fork stabs onto Tora's head was I thought adorable considering the massacre that Tora had just done to her face. But by the end of it, not a problem. She was definitely um, going for it a lot more at the end of the match here. You'll be proud of me. I started recognizing what a Death Valley driver is now. I'm starting to know that one.
Just think
Want to know?
John Cena.
Oh, no, see, that's not what I was thinking of. I go through a Mitch Clark equation because the spindly blindly you always say is a rolling Valley driver, right?
Rolling Fisherman's
So
Carry Slam, yes. Or, sorry, Rolling Fireman Carry Slam, which is the Fireman's Carry Slam is the Death Valley driver, so on and so forth. But yeah.
yeah. So I'm like, it's only a half spindly. It's a spindly, but you can't have a spindly bindly without a bindly. So I was like, okay, it must be a Death Valley driver. See, you should be proud. You're helping me remember things. I am learning.
Kind of.
Um, After the forking started happening, I was like, I can't complain about this, but like it's better than chopsticks, right? I don't want to see someone walking around looking like some psychotic porcupine. The Michinoku drivers I really like seeing. Um, mentioned that. Garbage pile. Uh, oh yes, that's the end. Okay. When Ruaka runs in and gives her the thing, power bombs her through the garbage, follows up with the Death Valley driver. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add to this. This was a fun match considering it was hardcore. The only thing I could have done without in this was the blading. Everything else about this was phenomenal. That was the only thing I didn't like about it because it wasn't necessary. She didn't need to bleed like that to get people interested in this match.
Mm.
And she could have done other things to make her bleed instead of doing that. And in such a blatant way. It wasn't, she wasn't even trying to hide it. Like the camera was right there. Until the ref stepped in front of the camera, it was front center. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and post match,
Mm,
Tora did get the mic, and she
yeah.
says, there may be people Maybe some people in Stardom who don't want to see me like this, but I've been searching for an opponent that I can do this with for so long for a long time. Micah, how do you feel right now? I've lost to you so many times up until now. It's really frustrating. I will never lose to you in this fight. You beat this woman 6 months ago for the title.
Yeah.
How have you been the one losing to her? You took the title from her.
Yeah, but also keep in mind, like when she went through the Cinderella tournament this year, she didn't have a good showing against her. Going through the Goddess of Stardom tournament as well. I don't think they had a very good showing against them. So,
Oh, you're talking about the 5-star because Cinderella. Tora went out
oh
in like
yeah,
the first round against the
yeah,
young girl. Yeah, okay. I'm so confused for a
yeah.
second there. I'm so confused.
Sorry, yeah, the 5 star is what I meant. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, they yeah, they have had and especially in the multi-person matches as well.
Mm.
She has had some falls to Micah personally. So, I can understand her frustration. This is a big win for Tora, though, after losing the title to the undeserving champion. So I think this is starting, I hope anyway, the beginning of the ascension, haha, of Natsuko Tora.
But funny you bring up the
Wrestling
Ascension.
puns.
So I'm gonna be
Yeah,
one of them
right?
in Calgary. You're gonna be one of them in
Choice
Calgary in
words,
March.
choice words.
Gonna be one of them in Calgary in March. We move on. 7 main events of the evening. It is Wonder of Stardom Championship match. It is Natsupoi defending her title against Neo Genesis star Light Kid. I love the entrance match for Starlight Kid here because she had the horns on it in
Yeah.
reference to
Like,
Jushin Thunder Liger. Loved
mm-hmm.
it. Nice big baton routine by Nat, just spinning that thing like crazy on her way down.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
I didn't like that they were both in white,
It
but
was a nice change for Starlight Kid. It was kinda like regular day for Natsupoi.
yeah, regular.
Mm.
Uh, back and forth the verses early. Starlight Kid drop kicks Nat out, hits an SA movesault to the floor. Coming back in, she snaps the knee in the ropes, hits a dragon screw in the ropes for 2. Standing moonsault to the knee. Looks really good. Um, they battle back and forth a bunch. Reversals and exchanges. Nat hits a headhunter for 2. Starlight Kid reverses a suplex, hitting her own. She sends Nat into the corner, puts her up top, dragon screwing her off, gets her the stretch muffler. Till Nat works her way into a pin for 2. Starlight Kid hitting the top, the going to the top and hitting her twisting frog splash for 2. Uh, Again, just Nat stops her on a moonsault attempt and hits this German suplex off the top, which I was like, oh, Jesus. Lots of crazy stuff here. The spot where Starlight Kid catches Nat running with a Michinoku driver, then hits her top rope moonsault for 2. She hits a Tiger Bomb for 2, then transitions into that stretch muffin, stands up with it, just starts swinging that in the air, then just starts
Right?
smashing her head first into the mat, just smashing her into the mat. And I'm like, this little freak is vicious. Jesus. And I already thought Natsupoi's little freakness was vicious enough, and then you got Starlight Kid doing the same thing here. It's like, holy
Yeah.
crap. And she's just smacking her around. Nat eventually does get out as Starlight Kid, as she's about to reach the rope. Starlight Kid tries to reset the center, and sort of Nat gets out and rolls up Starlight Kid for 2.
Mhm.
She follows it up with a huge release German. Nat hits a thrust kick and then a flying armbar into the armbar. But Starlight Kid fights. She tries to stack Nat, but she ends up getting pulled back down the armbar. But Starlight Kid eventually does get a foot on the rope. Nat gets the Ferial Splash off the top for 2 at one point. The striking battle here was crazy. The end of this match comes straight jacket German into the bridge by Natsupoi for 2. She goes up, but Starlight Kid follows her up, hits a Spanish fly, but Natsupoi kicks out at 1. I was like, oh, Starlight Kid, and then picks her up, tombstone, and then hits a super like Master Wado style high angle bridging tiger suplex. And we have a new Wonder of Stardom champion, Starlight Kid.
Yay!
Oh man, I'm so happy right now.
Second new champs of the night.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Let's go
Crazy,
for the
crazy.
trifecta.
So I think this match was a very perfect pace for the time in the show that it was, considering what we just came out of.
This is the longest match on the show.
I know, but what I mean is like that the pacing was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
The beginning, they didn't start off high speed immediately, like pedal to the metal. It was a very, like, it was still a quicker pace, but it was very, very slow paced in comparison to what we know that these two girls usually start out with. They were very much feeling each other out, figuring out how fast they wanted to go, and then they just kept getting faster and faster and faster and faster, and it was so good. You can tell how much experience these two have and how much they can read the crowd, and just the crowd interaction from both of these women is so incredible. They give the crowd exactly what it is that they want. Um, there was a springboard moonsault by Poi to the outside. Ended up on everybody but Starlight Kid, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
Liked that. Um, there was that you mentioned the standing back flip into the leg of Poi. Starlight Kid going for that stretch muffler a few times throughout this match, and quite early in the match, also really kind of muddling with that knee. And we noticed, or I don't know if you noticed, but I noticed throughout the match that Poi was she was messing with that knee. She kept going back to it. She kept remembering and selling the knee, shaking it out, kind of acknowledging that there's some injury to it. Good psychology there. Again, speaking to the
Mm-hmm.
experience of Natsupoi there. Um, yeah, there was again, that she was hobbled on that knee, shaking it off, and got a really good drop kick still on Starlight Kid before continuing to sell that knee. Um, Sky Tiger Moonsault is so good by Starlight Kid. She's just so good at those aerial kind of moves when she has that ability to, like say Rihanna that you mentioned earlier, who can get into that pin in any kind of way. Starlight Kid can get into her aerials in any kind of way and just so suddenly. It's so good. Um, yeah, the stretch muffler standing and spinning was crazy. Matt spot after was equally crazy. So when Starlight Kid was rolling back to recenter Poi, as she fed up, Poi started doing that. Remember that spin that Arrow Boy did where she would roll?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that too was actually Starlight Kid and not Poi. She actually
Oh.
reversed Poi's thing. She stopped her and pulled her in, and Starlight Kid was actually getting the two there.
Oh, I thought it was
It did.
Poi getting the two.
Because of how they were rolling, I thought the same thing too, but I watched it back because I was recording it and sending it to someone. And when I watched it back, I was like, oh, that two actually wasn't Poi because I had written it down as Poi for two, but
Mm-hmm.
it was actually Starlight Kid.
Me too.
Very
Okay,
interesting.
interesting.
Very interesting. So yeah, I loved this match. This was perfect, especially when they kicked it into that high speed gear. Oh man, was this great. And they were just going pin for pin, hold for hold, just trying to get the win. This was everything that I needed it to be because I was not so big on Poi for the last little while. Kind of felt that we weren't getting a very genuine side of her. I feel like this match brought out the genuine side that I'd been missing of her.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So we move. Oh, sorry. Post match.
Post
Going
match,
straight
I
to
was
the
gonna say
post
there's
match.
post match stuff.
So Natsupoi did present Starlight Kid with the title,
Hmm.
and Kid says, "Natsupoi, this belt that you finally got, I finally got it too, because our feelings collided. It was the most desperate fight we've ever had, and we both did everything we could. Right? This fight, this fight for now, but in the midst of all that, again, this is direct translation from Japanese, so the wording might not make sense. In the midst of all that, I'm the only one who won today. That's a shot. I'm always the one taking the belt, so next time Natsupoi, come and take this back. That's where Natsupoi shakes hands and exits the ring. A kid says, Natsupoi, wait, you're an important rival that I can't live without, so I'll never lose from now on. Natsupoi makes like a paw sign at her, like a,
Mm.
like a cat paw or a tiger's paw. Tiger claw.
Arr, yeah.
All I can think is that what's the movie? Tiger Claw. I think it's New Guy. I think it's the movie The New Guy. Yeah, Tiger Claw. Yeah, somebody will get that reference. Somebody will. Starlight Kid then gets some back on the leg. Says, "I'm Starlight Kid. I'm the 24th Wonder of Stardom champion. I'm glad I didn't give up, but even so, I want to express my gratitude first and foremost to all the fans who continue to support me and follow me. Thank you so much. Now that I'm wearing the Wonder Belt, I'll make it shine brightest. Finally, everyone in Ryogoku, can we hear one more big SLK call? Thank you. I'm so happy to have become champion to hear so many SLK calls. I'd like to make next year the year of the White Tiger Star Light Kid, so please continue to support me. Goodbye.
So fun. So cute.
Yep. Yep.
Makes me happy. It's been
Yeah,
a
me
hot
too.
minute since we've seen Starlight Kid with a singles championship around her waist.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to see. And this is her first no, well, her first Stardom singles title since starting Neo Genesis. She had another title before, didn't she?
Spark Joshi.
Yeah, yeah.
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 Somebody else in Stardom has it now. Can't remember who it was, but somebody else in Stardom has
Uh,
it. Could still be her for all I know, but yeah.
I don't know.
We move on.
Mr. Scoop McGee over there.
Main event of the evening for the World of Stardom Championship. It is the undeserving champion Tam Nakano taking on the Phoenix Queen Saya Kamitani.
Before you get into it, can I real quick comment on the gear?
Oh my God, Tam's gear.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, let's talk about the challenger, Saya Kamitani.
Okay, Kamitani. Okay, Kamitani first.
First of all, okay, this is gonna sound like a very odd comparison, but like when I tell you it was so good, it was so good. She
Mm-hmm.
looked like a combination of Maleficent and Shredder, like
Yep.
90s
Yeah,
Shredder.
I
Like
get you.
when I say 90s Shredder, I mean like the movies, the live action
Mm-hmm.
turtle Shredder, maybe
I was
Super
hoping
Shredder.
you didn't mean that late '90s live action shows. I was hoping.
Oh, no, 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 not the
Are
CGI
we
one.
talking
No,
like
the
Kevin
legit
Nash's
ones.
Super Shredder look?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, very much. Like the cool like neck thing and shoulder pads of crazy looking feathers. The cape was floor length. You couldn't see her feet. I wasn't even convinced that she had any until the match started and she took the cape off. And then she had the mask with all the spikes and the studs and stuff on it. She looked evil. Like, can we just talk about the glow up? She was already an incredible looking wrestler in when she was in Queen's Quest and being this regal, dressing like a regal queen in her own right. Now she's the Phoenix Queen in Hate, and she looks like the perfect evil contrast to that sweet little regalness that she was before. Then we go to Tam Nakano. Girl, what happened? What happened here? I don't know. Here's the thing. I liked the gear that she was wearing during the match, like her wrestling gear, the one piece. It's not something that I'm used to seeing on her, but I appreciated the stylistic difference because it's very much something that I feel much more easily can translate over to a North American crowd, which I'm starting to think is maybe what her destination could potentially be. But it looked like a nice little, like almost Sailor Moon one piece kind of thing with a little holographic tutu
Mhm.
kind of stitched on the bum. I liked that, but like the lackluster cape that like barely covered her booty and was like there was no decor, there was no pomp and circumstance. It wasn't very champion-esque. It wasn't very Tam Nakano. I was kind of like wondering who the hell I was watching at one point because I'm like, this is not Tam Nakano, let alone top kawaii of the universe. I'm the world champion. Tam Nakano. This kind of felt underwhelming. And in the same way that I've been underwhelmed with Natsupoi's partner at Historic Crossover, Tai Chi, who we know works closely with Tam Nakano, has the lack of, we'll say, motivation started to bleed over into both people and companies. I don't know. That's just a speculation. But I was
I want
very sad.
I want to believe she's pouting because she's losing the title. She's like, give me like the half finish gear, and shit. I don't want the one with all the poos that I usually have. Just give me the one with a little bit of poo.
It's
Just like
it's
skirt.
not like Tam to even when she's not being sensational to want to not be sensational. She just is.
I don't know.
I mean, it could
All right,
be.
let's get into this.
Let's get into it because I have a lot of notes on this one.
Back and forth, really fast start. Tam gets the
Yeah.
backdrop suplex. Saya rolls to the floor. Tam hits high cross, but Saya just runs out of the way as Tam goes crashing onto all the seconds. So Saya gets a chair in the ring, and she's like sitting there posing until Tam comes in. And as Tam's running out, she toe holds her into the chair.
hmm
Lots of fighting back and forth in here. Um,
hmm
A little bit later, they're trading running strikes. Tam gets a spin kick, then the running knee to the head in the ropes. Tam goes to the top, pulls Saya up, and does her hanging like dragon sleeper. I was like,
Yeah.
yes. Then just drops Saya, who crumples onto the apron. And then she gets this like they're on the apron, and as Tam runs at her, Saya just jumps up and mushroom stomps through her chest into the apron. Like if you Cameron Grimes from NXT, for anybody who wants to know, like when he would jump and hit that stomp is exactly what Saya did, and it looked perfection. She
Iida?
crushed her. Or Saya
Kamitani.
Kamitani did. She
I mean, I'm sure Iida
crushed
could
her,
do it
dude.
too.
I don't know if she has the jump ability, but um, yeah, dude,
It's
just they
Iida.
end up on the floor. They're going back and forth with each other. Tam goes for the long distance run, but gets caught into a choke by the chain, and then Kamatani decides to put Tam on one side and walk up the bleachers while pulling on the chain and choking Tam, and then gets over to
hmm
the top and then just yanks up on the chain as hard as you can. And you see Tam at the bottom just hanging in the air, legs just
Kicking.
kicking away. I'm like,
It
pretty
took
dope
me back
spot.
to. It was. It took me back to the big boss man spot.
Yeah. I all I
That's
could
just what it
think was
felt like.
all I could think was Hikuleo and Kenta right here when she was climbing up the thing when Hikuleo slammed Kenta off the steps in was it in Long
Oh,
Beach or was it Walter
oh,
Pyramid? Yeah, I just remember
yeah.
that. I was like, haha. Um,
Yeesh.
so this is where Saya Kamitani then stands up on the spot where she was choking him and dives off of there onto Tam, drags her
Yes,
back to
after Anu
ringside.
made the save. Anu
Yeah.
had to run up there and start beating on everybody to get her to drop the chain to release Nakano.
hmm so they get better back at ringside. Saya goes up to the apron, but Tam comes right up after her, Germans her off the apron to the floor to
Mm-hmm.
continue the count because the count's still not broken. So at like 14, 15. And Tam's back inside, but Saya Kamatani gets in at Mel's favorite number, 19.
There was a surprising amount of non-spots like this on this show, though,
Mhm.
which is odd considering it's a Bushi Road production. Anyway,
They're
continue.
trading just hard ass shots, spin kicks,
hmm
kicks, punches. Tam gets a German. Saya Kamitani comes back with a poison Rana. Tam hits a violet screwdriver. And I'm like, no way, don't end it now. But Saya kicks out. I was like, oh my god, thank Christ, because I was like, you
hmm
can't end this like this. Saya avoiding the arm trap German, but Tam does this up kick to Saya Kamitani. So he really flips through a suplex and hits spin kicks, and then gets that tornado axe down kick thing that
So
just looked
good.
very similar to Hikaru Shida's katana. Is what this, yeah, and she does it, and she gets a 2 count. She lifts her up, star crushing. I'm like, oh yes, it's over. But Tam kicks out with that last possible millisecond. She goes for the
Mm-hmm.
spinning star crusher, but it's avoided by Tam. But Saya Kamitani does get Kamagoye. She goes to the top, but Tam follows her up for an avalanche tiger suplex. The ref is checking on Saya Kamitani, pulling the ref, pulling Tam back. You're like, oh, is she hurt? And she's looking like she's effed. Tam looking
Mm-hmm.
kind of concerned because this has happened. Remember, Kamitani broke herself at the 5-star in 2023 in her match with Tam the first night.
Mm-hmm.
So the ref gets distracted. Saya Kamitani's faking it, shoves the ref, hits a Ranna into a pin for 2, then hits a roll through into a backdrop, hits her own violet screwdriver, and then picks her up one more time, spinning Star Crusher. And we have a new World of Stardom champion, a deserving champion, the Phoenix Queen.
And we got it with very minimal, but the ones that were there, appropriate shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
House of Torture. How you be being outshone by a faction that has existed a fraction of the time that you have?
Mm-hmm.
Gato, fix it.
Fix it.
Anyway, yeah, I felt that this was a phenomenal freaking match. And
Mm.
man, did it reignite I've always loved Tam Nakano, but I have shared your sentiment in that I didn't feel that this run for Tam was very Naito
Oh, you're the one
2024.
that started calling her the undeserving champion. I just continued it.
No, I said that she won a championship she didn't deserve. You're the one who coined the phrase the
Okay, but
undeserving
you
champion.
started that. You started it.
I made the observation. You ran with it.
Don't
Anyway,
make observations around me.
we know that one. Oh, do we know that one? King of discretion over there. Anyway, um, this match again. I've always loved Tam. I was just this title run felt very Naito 2004 esque for me. It was not a good run for her. Um, and in a weird time too. Like it was such an easy time for her to be the champion. She could have really done a lot more than she actually did. That being said, um, this match made me fall back in love with Tam Nakano and her styling because we saw the absolute best of both of these women coming through in their emotions, in their wrestling style, the effortlessness and how these two work together. It's so good. So good. Um, so you mentioned that the kicks on point. Yeah, their axe kicks are just so good. These women are so controlled with their legs. It's very crazy. Um, Spinning heel kick, axe kick. Okay, the chain hanging was a bit much, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like it was a great spot, but I was just like, "Ugh, mm." The American fans are gonna have something to say about that. I haven't
Maybe
actually heard anything about it though.
they should have done it during the no disqualification match.
That would have been far too much in that match, though. That would have been so much. And let's be honest, Micah wouldn't have jumped off of the top of the thing. She would have rolled down those stairs.
I mean, Tora.
Just
Oh,
no,
both
it
really.
definitely would have been Mike. Yeah, Glorious Chaos.
Yeah.
Anyway, wrong match. Um, the dive off the entrance to the horde below was funny from Kamitani. Yeah, and that spot of them kind of stumbling back to the ring. Yes, it was not my favorite because the count or whatever. But like, it was appropriate given what was happening in this match. So, like, there's certain situations I can't be mad about it because it makes sense. It's when it doesn't make sense that it starts to get under my skin. Because, like, the near fall, like, the ref nearly getting that 3, that aggravates me so much when it's so close all the time. But if it makes sense, if everything going into that makes sense, it's hard for me to be mad about it because it makes sense. Everything about this match made so much sense. I absolutely loved it. The near falls had me on the edge of my seat, biting my nails. It was high energy, high intensity. It was 2 women fighting for their frickin' lives in this championship. The playing possum though was not what I expected, but goddamn did I love it. Because how about I mentioned it earlier, how about this fracking glow up for Saya Kamitani? I made a comparison while I was watching this, Andre. Hear me out until the end of it. Saya Kamitani is the charismatic version of Sonata. She's the one who's holding on to all of the charisma. He gave it all to her.
Mhm.
Maybe share a little or don't. We're not gonna make you. But she when she was in Queen's Quest, she really emulated with the crowd and their cheering. Getting them riled up for her would get her riled up and she would interact with them and really make that a part of what she's doing. Now she's a heel. And much like Sonata, who just thrives on those boos, Kamitani is loving, loving getting the crowd fired up. You see her sitting there like, huh? I can't hear you. And she's laughing, laughing, doing her little pose, sticking her tongue out. She is pissing everybody off and having so much fun with it. She's living and thriving on these boos, much like Sonata, but she's doing it good, unlike Sonata. So, like, just Bullet Club in general, except for, the good War Dogs. Take some notes from this faction. They are killing it. They're doing your job that you have literally been doing for years wrong. They're doing it right in a few months. Figure it out. Take us into the post, because goddamn, was this some great character work.
So Kamatani gets the mic, and Tam's going to leave, but she says, "Hey, wait! Put the belt around my waist. Come on! I told you to put it on me, around me. Come on! 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 Put it around me. I told you to. I told you to put it around me. Listen to what I am saying. You're the champion. Listen to what you were the champion. Listen to what I'm saying. I told you to hurry up. Put it around me quickly." So Tam Nakano, while crying, she's really a broken person, puts the belt around Kamatani's waist. The crowd's like applauding a bit, but there's a lot of boos. And then Kamatani just winds up and smacks Tam. And I was like, yes, go away. Um, just go away. Kamatani
Is that
says,
usually?
go home, hurry up, you lost. You're embarrassing. Tam Nakano, hey, I don't think this is the end. This is a continuation of the nightmare from a year ago. I've always wanted to wear this red belt, and I love it to the point of madness. I, who have arisen to the pinnacle of evil, will wreak havoc on Stardom again next year as absolute champion. This is the beginning of Stardom's biggest nightmare. The crowd is booing and hissing just at her. She says, "Shut up, you idiots. My servants, kneel. Goodbye, 2024, forever." Ah, so good.
Perfection.
Next time,
Absolute
Next
perfection.
time I get a Kamatani promo, I'm sending it to you to read because I need to hear you. If you would have said that, would have sounded way better.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it. The character work she did for this promo, utterly insane. Again,
Mm-hmm.
we went from having this very regal, this very face, this very loving, this very adored, Golden Phoenix character. And now we have the Phoenix Queen, who is just this loathful, hateful, angry, clearly lashing out at the world woman, and I am here for it. I am
Me
here
too.
for it.
Me
I
too.
I, I got the jewels that were synonymous with Tam Nakano are now going to be synonymous with Saya Kamitani.
Hmm.
It's crazy how that works. I'm here for it. All hail, Phoenix Queen.
Yep. Again, amazing way to cap off this show. Like he ended with two
Yeah.
amazing matches. One of them, like I love this match, but I put that Wonder title as like a potential match of the year contender with how just insane those two were in that match. Holy crap! Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I see
debating right
that.
now. I might have to go and watch that other match that I have on my list. That was my final. That's my winner until I watched them.
Well, we can
So
talk about that on the episode that we talk about.
yeah, so lots to come. We'll be having our year end. Oh, I'm gonna close this down. We'll be having our our 2024 best of awards coming out probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Mm,
Before the end of January, you're going to get our best of 2024. Do not worry. We just
mm,
have a lot to cover over the next couple of weeks because we still have to rewatch the Noah show because we were both enjoying stuff while we were watching.
mhm,
We still have the Marigold show on the third. We have another Stardom show on the third that we will get to eventually. That one's kind of at the low point of my list of all the other shows we do need to cover. We have Wrestle
mm.
Kingdom. We have Wrestle Dynasty, and we will have to talk about somewhere whatever happens at New Year Dash. So lots and lots and lots of stuff coming over the next couple weeks. Um, so yeah, stay tuned because we're having the premiere of Did You Noah? We have German V Marigold coming back. We have
Yeah.
multiple episodes of NGBD Puderessa Review coming. We have another one of these coming in for Best of Chop Talk, our Chop Talk Best of the Year coming. So yeah, so much coming for the
Mhm,
rest of this year.
mhm. Yeah, we might even get to meet a Marigold superstar. I'm excited.
Oh, oh, I was like, how do I pay for this? And then I realized what you're talking about.
How? You
Yeah,
know how we're
it
paying for
took
this.
it
We're
took
we're
it
road tripping.
it took me a minute. You have to get me those dates so that I can book it off very much far in advance.
Yeah, we'll get on
Yeah.
that.
So we have come to the end of another episode. I want to thank you all for joining us here. You can find me on the X and Blue Sky at That Canada, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at That Canada Dude. You can find me on Facebook at Andre Melball Wrestling Talk, and our YouTube page, youtube.com/ at Andre Melball Wrestling Talk, where you might be watching us right now. And if you are, thank you. You can also find us in audio form, A Plus Productions. Go to A Plus Productions on Facebook or aplusproductions.com to get the RSS feed links to all of that and all the other great content they put out. You can check out our Best of 2024 edition that we did with them because we actually got to talk about American wrestlers on that one, which was nice. Our Best of is going to the only people I get to talk about North American is the indie scene.
Well, like,
So
I don't really watch any American stuff, so, like, I was pretty useless on that, but
no, you
I
brought us
tried.
some great people that some of the guys were like, oh damn, didn't even think of
Yeah.
that. You did. Um, I gotta give a shout out to our friends over at Our Local Establishment, twitch.tv/Our Local Establishment, and on Instagram and TikTok at OLE Podcast, youtube.com/at Our Local Establishment, where you can find myself and Memo doing Japanese update, but that will not be back until January the 10th. Will be the next edition. We are not doing one this week because it's way too much work this week. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, check that out. So over there, all the great content. You'll see me actually this Sunday morning. I will be on with the boys for the final week 18 predictions of our fantasy pick'em pool, which I am solidly losing with STG. Next year, I won't have him dragging me down. So although it's my fault mostly where we are.
I was
Um, I blame myself. And one more shout out to our boy Mike the Ref over at Backbreaker Video for simulcasting all of our stuff. That reminds me I have to send him things tonight. You can also find his live content, twitch.tv/Mike the Ref, where he sees gaming content and his AEW watch alongs, and see replays of his gaming content, youtube.com/@backbreaker_gaming. Melball, where can they find you?
If you're wanting to follow a Melball?
A milk ball?
A milk ball? Wowzers. If you're wanting to follow a Melball, you can follow her on the X thing at Collins Melball. You can follow her on everything else, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, and Blue Sky at Melball Collins. You can also find me on here with this guy on Fridays, but not this
Well,
Friday.
not
for the
on here.
Japanese.
You can find him on OLE. This is Stardom Review.
Bro, if I could slap the smack out of you.
This is on our channel.
Also, find me on our local establishment, where we do our show, Japanese Wrestling Update, on Fridays at 8 p.m. Mountain Time, but not this week because we're tired. You can also find me on our local establishment on Mondays for the Women's Classic Wrestling. WCW Women's Classic Wrestling with Astrid Pizarro and Auntie Collins, where we are reviewing the Mae Young Classic from 2017. We are entering into the second episode of the second round, so I think episode 6. I don't know what Andre's doing over there, but I think it's episode 6. We already watched the first round of round 2. So, yeah. You can catch that on Monday, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. What else? You can catch me on Ash Bazaar's YouTube channel where we do our show, Ladies Wrestling Showcase. Girl has been busy over the holiday season, but with it winding down, we are hoping to get an episode out for you very soon. So stay tuned to our socials to see when that is coming out. What else, Andre? If you're wanting to watch Stardom Wrestling, we will leave you the link in the description box below. It is stardom-world.com. It's approximately 999 yen or 10 Canadian. Shout out Sean Spears. It's not actually 10 Canadian, you guys. It's actually a little less right now. I just had the charge on there. It was 7 to It's Sean Spears. For the audio people who don't know why I just lost my mind.
Oh my god, that sound you just made.
It wasn't as good as my Mitch Clark reaction, that's for sure.
Oh, it sounded like a Woody the Woodpecker reaction.
Anyway, it's $7.40, you guys. $7.40 is what I paid for my Stardom. $7.40 Canadian, which is still a great price. Watch some amazing women's wrestling. You can watch, eventually, I'm sure, maybe the thing that we watched today, just not there right now. You can watch last year's, the years before that, and the years before that. You can also go in there and watch Timeless Toni Storm before she was Timeless Toni Storm. And you can watch Timeless Toni Storm. There's just a lot of stuff there to watch. So make sure you go check it out. Andre, my trusted friend and colleague, do you have anything else to say to the beautiful people? The beautiful people.
A beautiful people. Thank you so much for joining us here.
Oh, there you are.
I might want to. I wasn't muted, so I don't know what the heck happened there. So I want to thank each and everyone else for joining us here. If you are listening on A Plus Productions, thank you so very much. And if you want to hear us on audio form, aplusproductions.com. Add us to the RSS catcher of RSS. Take the RSS feed, put it into your podcast catcher of choice, and join the Facebook page, A Plus Productions, on Facebook. If you are watching on the YouTube, whether it's Andre Melball Talk, whether it's Backbreaker Video, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, share us out, tell your friends, family, and just crazy little green people. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted every time we drop a new video.
Ding dong.
Phone home.
Thought you were asking for a tip touch.
No.
Not yet. Not that show. That being said, I am your Melball. Over there is Andre. We will see you next time. Mwah.